you might want to kind of think to yourself, what's wrong with this topic? Everything is wrong about this topic. Suicide is the #1 leading cause of death. Everyone thinks that heart disease is, but no. Heart disease is a long-term thing. Suicide, one-way trip. For me, it was pretty hard. I had a friend who I knew for 7, 8 years. I lived in Florida, and just a couple years ago, I got a call from his mother, and she said, "You remember Shane?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember Shane." Well, guess what? He just hung himself a week ago. And getting that message from his mother devastated me because I knew Shane for a very long time, and I always knew that he was just out there. And I didn't know he was going to do it that way. Okay, we used to mess around when we were friends, but this is different.
My opinion on teen suicide would be, well, I think it's a really negative thing, and it's really sad that people would do that. And when it happens, you just can't help but feel sad for their family and their friends and them as well. So.
Teen suicide is definitely a very serious issue. It's definitely really tragic. There are a lot of instances where it occurs, and I think that in this day and age there's a lot more education about it, which is good.
It's quite sad, honestly, that somebody feels like they don't have enough people to talk to, or there's no other way out, so they have to take their own life. It's unfortunate.
Teen suicide, geez, that's a interesting topic. Not interesting, but very touchy subject. I always feel like there's people to talk to in situations, and ultimately taking your life isn't the right answer.
Opinion on teen suicide. Obviously, it's a horrible thing when a young person chooses to take their life. Tragic is the only word.
Yeah, we see a lot of students here who come to myself or Lynn, right back, the other social worker, with ideas of hurting themselves, suicide ideations. And that's not uncommon for adolescents to have these thoughts. Teen suicide is a huge problem. It's a very permanent solution to a temporary problem. When I talk to students, I tell them that there's always hope. There's always a solution.
My overall opinion on teen suicide, much like any kind of suicide or death that shouldn't occur, is overall remorse and tragedy.
Well, teen suicide happens, and my opinion is it should never happen. It is just a terrible thing that students feel that life is not worth living, and there are so many people that can help a teen when they are experiencing problems to help them through that. So I really would like to see that no teenager ever gets to the point where they feel like they have to end their life.
Well, I think it's one of the most underrepresented and underpublicized tragedies in our country, probably around the world.
My overall opinion, there's nothing much I can say about it. It's just really not worth killing yourself over something if it's something personal, then it's best to talk to someone about it, and it's best to talk to like a nearest adult that you can find. But it's just not worth it.
I think teens can do to prevent it would probably be just the kids that are thinking about this is probably, try and find someone that you can talk to, teachers at school, parents, friends. Yeah.
One way to prevent it would definitely be to educate ourselves about the kinds of problems that cause it. And amongst teenagers especially, I think that a lot of times it can come out of sort of hostility or alienation. I think that trying to prevent things like that.
There's always somebody to talk to, and there's resources that kids can go to nowadays and get help.
Talk it out. I think maybe go see a counselor or something. That's why they're in the schools. I think a lot of what happens is it's built up. They don't talk about it. It's built up, built up, built up. And I think if they have a release where they're able to talk to people, I think that would be the right step. Maybe even talk to the parents, siblings, but just to get what you're feeling out. I think is generally going in the right direction.
Well, clearly, as far as the individual, we would hope that they would have supports in place, to someone to talk to be able to try and deal with the very strong feelings that they're having that might lead to such an act. The problem with that is that very often there's depression involved, and when people are depressed, they don't tend to think clearly and necessarily even recognize.
As far as what students can do to help themselves or others or their friends, don't keep it a secret. Do not keep it a secret. If you have friends, who talk about it, make sure you let somebody know, and let somebody who knows how to assess them make a decision whether it's something to be worried about or not.
I think the more folks can reach out and belong to different groups, to rely on each other's friends, to rely on each other's friendship, and being a true friend is letting somebody know that they think they're in trouble. Going to adults to seek help and support. Your school, your community, we're very fortunate to have a lot of resources, both again at the school and in the community, to help any kind of student, any adult that feels like they're going to hurt themselves.
Teenagers who have friends that they think are thinking of committing suicide, the best thing they can do is to tell an adult.
The best way is to communicate when a teen is in some kind of pain, whatever is causing that pain. Find somebody to talk with, whether it's a parent, church or synagogue person, a teacher, a friend that will help you find other sources of help. There are plenty of hotlines, but I think a lot of teens think they have to go it alone, that it's a silent, soul suffering thing. And I think kids need to know there's people that want to help them and will, help them if they reach out to them.
I won't see you for miles, hoping every day you find the strength to stay with me. I'm crippled by the sound you make when I walk out. Not too much longer now, just stay. Another life, I'd always be there. Another night of barely breathing. But when the lights go out, I'll be listening.